Welcome to my garage gym. I'm Dan Dalenberg. So here I am at Kingdom Street Barbell in Mattawan, Michigan, just outside of Kalamazoo. I think to start off, maybe just give a little gym tour, and then I'm going to give a little background on myself and talk a little bit about what I do for a living and how powerlifting has played into that. So to get started, let me show you the home gym. Probably a little bit more set up than other home gyms around. So we've got our elitefts monolift, adjustable incline bench, got 9 bars back there, a little bit of everything, 2x3 power rack and about 1,700 pounds of plate weight, GHR, and a competition bench here. I've been training at the house for about 3 years now. And especially right now, I'm really grateful to have this. It's made training at home pretty relatively easy, even without a commercial gym to go to. So for myself, from a powerlifting perspective in my background, I started competing in 2004. Most of it has been raw. Outside of a couple of years, it's always been raw. Lifted as light as 165, as heavy as 275, most of the time at 220 and 242. Totaled 2006 at 242 back at Rum 8 in 2015, and more recently totaled 1802 at 198. Did a couple years in multiply, like I said, lifted at 220 and 242, totaled 2400 at 242, and 2305 at 220. So that first meet, 2004, I've done 1 or 2 meets at least a year since then, so 35, 40 meets or so. Been in the game a while, and hope to continue to do that. So some of what I wanted to talk about tonight was the idea of the corporate meathead, right? So next I'll talk a little bit about my academic background, my professional background. My bachelor's degree is in mechanical engineering. Finished up in 2011. Been working in medical device product development ever since. Started off with a company called Cook Medical down in Bloomington, Indiana, and moved up to work for Stryker Corporation in Michigan in 2013, and I've been there ever since. Throughout my career, it's always been new product development. It's always been R&D type roles. Worked in quality for a while. Worked in project management for a while, and now I'm in a corporate development role. So basically, I support a team that goes out and does mergers and acquisitions. So we go out and we find products that we're interested in, external from Stryker, and find a way to purchase those. It's a pretty intense job. We travel a lot. Prior to COVID shutting things down, we were traveling probably every other week or so. And that's kind of the first point that I want to talk about is time management, and how powerlifting and working have had to kind of work themselves out and manage time well. Because traveling pretty often has been hard. It's been challenging. But kind of the biggest way that I've been able to overcome that is in the way the training has been set up. So for a long time, I've always had my training set up such that on Sundays, I do a combo day. So I'm squatting and deadlifting on the same day. And then on a different day during the week, I'm doing my main bench movement. So I've really only got 2 days a week where I need this gym here with monolift and specialty bars in my training crew. And the other 2 days of the week, I can do in pretty much any gym. I can do it at work in our very nice corporate gym. I can do it at a hotel. I can do it at, Planet Fitness, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's kind of the way it's always been set up. So I've set up the training to fit really my lifestyle. When I have to be gone every other week, it's easy for me to move a bench session around to make it work. If I'm going to be gone Monday through Wednesday, cool. I'm going to squat and pull on Sundays, and then I'm going to bench on Thursdays, and maybe I get those other 2 days in while I'm traveling. Maybe I get them in when I get home. Not really a big deal. Having that flexibility in the training has really let me move things around and make it work and make it fit the work schedule. So that's been a big deal. The other thing, kind of from a time management standpoint, was over the past couple of years, I went back to school and went and did an MBA through Central Michigan University, and that stressed it to the max. I was traveling all the time. I was still training. I was still competing. I was still doing some multiply stuff, and anybody who's lifted multiply knows that a multiply squat session is 4 hours, 5 hours long. So that was hard. The trick to that really was in just the discipline of when I was doing school, and then when I was doing work, and then when I was training. For 2 years straight, every Saturday and Sunday, I was up at 5, and I was sitting down in my office at home working on school at 6 in the morning, because I knew my wife was still going to be asleep, and that I could get my schoolwork done. I could do that while she was still in bed, and I could get way ahead by, I could get way ahead by like 10 in the morning, and then I was pretty set up. So then when I wanted to train at 5 p.m. that night, well, I could spend the whole afternoon with her, and then I'd train at 5, and it made it all work. So having that discipline, it gave me the freedom, it gave me the ability to still, have that time with my family, and then be able to train later in the evening. And that's how I've been able to make it work with, my professional life and work as well. Is I'm in the office pretty early. I'm not rolling in at 9, I'm coming in at 7 a.m. So that way, when I want to leave at 4 to go and train, well, I've put in a full day. Thankfully, a lot of my team at work kind of works the same way. People are coming in early and getting after it for the day, and then they're able to leave a little bit earlier. But just kind of moving my day earlier so I can train with my group at 6 p.m. on Mondays. I've got 6 guys that come when times are normal that are coming out and training. So that way it kind of works for everybody, and everybody's able to get out here and train in the home gym, on Sundays and Mondays, and the professional life really doesn't interfere with that. The thing that I've really found with powerlifting is really, I need probably 3 hours to squat and pull on Sundays, and I need 2 hours to bench, and then I need another 2 90-minute sessions during the week. And it's just not that hard to move my work schedule around to make that fit. And it wasn't that hard to move school schedules around to make it fit too, and be able to get all 3 things done without having to completely sacrifice any of them. Certainly it was stressful, and I had to make some compromises, but wasn't having to sacrifice my grades. I wasn't having to sacrifice my professional life, and I was still posting PR totals and getting after it. So the time management is really the most important thing when it comes to being the corporate meathead and advancing professionally while still doing well in the gym.